Hi everybody and welcome to SA Rugby Magazine. I am Kevin Ferguson, Money Man, and I've got Zellum here with me, Zellum Nell, the editor of SA Rugby.
Yes, sir.
Zellum, I know you've done a show and you must be exhausted from the adrenaline that was...
I'm just warming up.
Cool. Well, you're much younger than me, so I'm exhausted.
Come on.
What a weekend of rugby.
What an incredible weekend of rugby. Just an absolute perfect showcase of the best that rugby's got to offer. As much as we take shots at World Rugby, we tear strips of them, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
If you just have to look at this weekend's action in a microcosm, it's absolutely a fantastic advert for rugby. It's winning over fans, cross-code fans, fans from other countries, newcomers to rugby. Absolutely fantastic. Whether it was planned or not, the reality is rugby delivered this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll ever convert the woke culture to rugby, but for other people that are sensible, then yeah, it was a great weekend as an advert. So yeah, we do tear stripes off World Rugby, but when they get it right, not that they've had a lot to do getting it right.
Yeah,
it's how the permutations.
it's a rare occurrence. That's why I'm so excited. We don't get to applaud them very often.
Wales disappointed. They should have easily beaten Argentina.
You said who? I said Argentina, on paper, are 10 points better than Wales. You said, name their players. I said...
Well, you didn't name any.
Well, I didn't name Emiliano Buffetti.
No. Well,
but you said, just put a who after everybody's name.
I did. I do think that the Welsh were hard done by because that one tackle that came in on the guy's face.
Yeah.
And the guy... And this is what bothers me about the inconsistency in refereeing. Is that it was clearly shoulder to head.
Yep.
To face, not head, just to face. And that referee found mitigating circumstances not to give him a yellow card. Whereas in the Bok game, he said it was clear head on it. It was clear head, direct to the head.
Yeah, yellow card.
And yellow card. So I don't understand.
Yes.
There could be what I understand is there could be no mitigating factors for a guy that comes into the ruck and hits him like that. And to leave the interpretation to the referee that there is mitigating factors. It's like if it's head on head, shoulder on head, instant yellow card, then the replay. Because that penalty cost Wales 3 points and they should have had the ball to kick to touch and a one-man advantage.
Yes. So for me...
What was ironic, was that the referee then asked the guy to go for a HIA. Because it was direct contact to the head.
Correct.
As a Welshman. But in general, the refereeing was pretty good this weekend.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So, Kev, I'm for anything that keeps 15 players on the field. So I agree with you 100% on the inconsistencies of it. Mm-hmm. And for me, it should be, the inconsistency should be don't send anybody. We shouldn't be sending people for stuff that is a rugby incident unless you can see in the footage that there was clear intent to cause harm, or the guy was came in feet first, completely sloppy tackle.
Yeah.
For me, it's a rugby incident. It's either play on or it's a penalty. Cards should be reserved for a guy goes out to hurt somebody, it's obvious. Then send him.
Yeah. Clear intention. I agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, your point's 100% valid. Like you said, another game or a different ref, that's a complete turnaround. Argentina's guys off the field. Wales gets the penalty. Wales wins the game. They're into the semis.
Yeah. But, yeah. So let's chat about the Ireland and New Zealand for a second.
Yes.
I was chatting to some friends and I was, rugby was the winner on the night. Geez, those teams threw everything at each other.
Yes, they did.
And it was one of those games where you could just, as a neutral, just applaud.
Yeah.
Because Ireland were tenacious, physical. It was just a wonderful game to watch. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's the best game of rugby I've ever seen at a Rugby World Cup.
Oh, wow.
Now, maybe many people in South Africa would disagree with that. Mm. Probably the World Cup final is probably the best game. But not in terms of the
quality of
the attacking quality and the intent.
Yeah.
And then the Boks came out against France. And the adjectives I guess I would throw at those is heroic.
That's a great way of describing
heroic.
Yeah. From both teams.
From both teams. Because I don't know the stats, but I would imagine that the tackle count was quite heavy that South Africa needed to make more tackles because the French, it was the most fast-paced game I've ever seen in my life. It never slowed down. And I almost expected that which team's going to die at 60 minutes and have nothing left in the tank.
Spot on.
And they both did. I mean, Jesse Creel, who I don't believe should be in the team,
Played like a superstar.
Played like a superhuman.
Yeah.
You had Sia play incredibly well. Chess let him play well.
Jeez.
The man of the match for me had to be Eben.
Right.
His single determination to get that ball down.
Carry off for France across the line.
Yeah, that was heroic.
Yeah.
I just can't say anything. I mean, both teams were absolute heroic.
Yeah.
And if South Africa had lost that game, they could have flown home and should have been greeted at the airport with a hero's welcome.
Spot on. So, I mean, it's a bit melodramatic to say it, but like there's almost an emotional fatigue from that game because so much was on the line and just the way that game played out. I think France definitely came out with the intention to speed the game up, almost overspeed that Bok pack, which is renowned for its physicality. If you're watching the first half there, you can see France Timol-Havers breathing in and breathing out quite frequently, per minute. And I think that was the intention, just to push the speed of the game, take the set pieces off the table, keep it in general play, and let's just go toe-to-toe. It was Marvin Hagler versus Marvin Hagler. And I think it was great to watch.
It was the best. I said the Ireland New Zealand was
right,
and then that became the best game I've ever watched in my life.
Right.
Because and the amount of texts and messages I got about well done to South Africa and how heroic it was, and geez, it was just I can't. I was lost for words last night. My adrenaline was down. I felt like I'd been on the field for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's also one of those games where, like, often after a game, if somebody's missed it or they weren't really paying attention, you can kind of describe to them in a way that summarizes what happened. But like you said, you sort of speechless. It's very difficult to put into words what actually happened in that contest. Not from a technical point of view, but to sort of be able to relate the emotion of that game and the physicality of it is it's quite difficult to talk about it, to explain it to somebody who didn't see it.
Well, I think rugby's always a more emotional game than soccer, football. And the fact that you had so many French fans in that stadium, and it was like bang, bang. It was a slugfest. I mean, there was 6 tries scored in the first 34 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
Never would you swim. I did bet high on the points at 42.
I was going to say.
So that was my biggest bet on the weekend. I didn't tip it because I didn't feel that I could tip anything in this Rugby World Cup really.
Yeah.
And I got it wrong with Ireland, but I also took the points high in that game.
Okay.
So I won both games. But
when you saw it was over 40 for the first half, you must have thought this is going to be a 60, 70, 80 point game.
No, because there's always regression
okay.
in games. To me,
okay.
it's like so. To me, I thought it was heading for 60.
Okay.
It came close, I think, but 29-28. You'd have taken that, and like I said, well done to both teams.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
But that leaves us in it. We can have anything left in the tank for England.
If we were going into a final this week, I would say that is a real point of concern. And there's definitely going to be a hangover for New Zealand and for South Africa because both teams tackled their guts out.
I was amazed at the commitment. It was like we had 15 missing links on that field.
Yeah.
None of them gave a shit about their safety. They threw themselves at France.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Commitment 110%.
Yeah. They actually tackled at sub 80% efficiency in that game and
Yeah.
still denied France. That's how.
Well, the cover was great.
just
The
looked after each
scrambling,
other.
the
Exactly.
desperation was there.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like that 16-year-old girl you've just broken up with and she's just letting go.
It was a long time ago.
Or that stalker. We've all been stalked.
We've all been stalked.
Yeah, so it was...
So to answer your question, I think there will be a bit of hangover from those two teams, the two heavyweights in the semis. But I think the disparity in the quality of the two teams versus their opponents, I think maybe the scoreline will be lower than people expected, the margin of victory will be lower than people expected, but I expect both New Zealand and South Africa to advance. Having said that, we expected a lot of things this weekend that didn't happen, so who knows?
Yeah, and it would be very fitting. We've got New Zealand, South Africa, 3 World Cups each.
Look, I'm going to put 10 grand down on England to play Fiji in the final, just to... You never know.
Let me tell you what you'd make on that.
A lot.
Oh, jeez, but I mean, yeah, a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
Well, you'll get 9-2 on England. So say you put down 10 grand, that's 55,000 going on to the next game, which would be 9. So 9 times 55. Yeah, you get about $500,000 right back. That 10 grand bet's worth half a
I
million.
mean, where's a tickle?
It's worth a tickle. Clearly, I'm paying you. if your tickles are 10 grand on an absolute outsider.
Ah, glorious.
Ahmad, get me HR after this. We need to have a chat.
Yes.
But the All Blacks are favoured by 17 points,
Okay.
and the Boks are favoured by 13. So,
What do you think of that?
When I saw the England South Africa bet, I thought that 13 was a good value bet for England. But then South Africa blown them out in many World Cups. So it's too quick to get emotional. Let's see if there's any nagging injuries or
See the
anything like
team,
that.
see the ref.
teams, the ref. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a quick bet on that.
Yeah.
Because I hope that the Boks do blow them out by a lot. Being Welsh, England's always the enemy for me.
Yep.
And New Zealand 17, not a bad bet either, the way that they've been playing. But is it much? I mean, there's always that bit of letdown because let's be honest, there was 2 worthy World Cup finals on the weekend.
Absolutely.
It could have easily been Ireland, New Zealand in the final,
Yeah.
and it could have easily been France, South Africa if they were in different pools.
Totally.
You know.
And your caution on New Zealand, 100% validated because they really are on this roller coaster season where they go from getting smashed at Twickenham, losing to France. I think the combined score there was something like 62-20
Yeah.
for those 2 games.
Yeah.
And then they picked themselves up to beat the world's number one ranked team on a 17-game win streak. So
Well, the only thing I caution people about with Ireland is that they don't have the pedigree to go past the quarters. They never have, and they haven't again. So those people out there saying "I told you so," no. But look, they played an amazing game. Great game. So, look, I think the betting now is South Africa even money, New Zealand 13-10. You've got England 5-1 and Argentina 40-1. So put your 10 on the 40,000. You don't get 4 back.
I said England, Fiji earlier in the final. I mean England, Argentina. Fiji's
Well,
not even in there.
I think people know what you meant.
Okay.
So well done for rugby fans this weekend. What an absolute pleasure. There was a sense, I guess, I was right in essence when I said that losing to New Zealand wasn't a bad loss.
Right.
And even though it took a momentous effort to beat France. And if we played that way against New Zealand, it's we probably would have won as well. But like I said, a good game to lose. We're in the semi-finals against England. We should beat them, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and I expect New Zealand to beat Argentina and to meet us in the final. And I feel like out of New Zealand and South Africa has a way better chance on their recent track record of putting together 2 of those performances in the space of 3 weeks versus New Zealand, who just seem to be right up and right down.
Well, New Zealand just can't beat us in a final.
Never been done before.
Exactly. So look, it's shaping up to be the number 1 and 2 brands in the world, and who'd begrudge that as a final? Thanks for coming in, bud.
Thanks, Kev.
Look forward to more content this week.
Ciao.